I grew 24 good sized heads of garlic from $2.50 worth of store-bought garlic. And here's how I did it. On September 29th, 2022, I decided I wanted to grow garlic for the first time. So I went online and started searching for soft-knit garlic because I live in the low desert of Arizona, zone 9B, and soft-knit garlic is what was recommended for my area. But I ran into a huge problem. Every single online store I went to was already sold out of soft-knit garlic. I also checked nearby garden centers, but I couldn't find any. So I decided to check Amazon as a last resort, and finally I came across one listing. The listing said it was for a 7-pack of fresh California soft-knit garlic bulb for planting and growing your own garlic, or great for eating and cooking. And it was only $8.69, so I bought it. But when they arrived, I was very disappointed with the bulbs. But luckily, the next time I went grocery shopping, I was picking up some garlic and noticed that some of them had actually started sprouting. The tags didn't say the variety, but the bulbs had a lovely purple hue to their skin, and I only paid around $2.50 for both of them. I was so excited to plant this garlic that as soon as I got home, I took a couple of cloves and planted them against the border of one garden bed, and I also took a couple of the cloves from the Amazon garlic and tried planting them in other beds, but I wasn't able to plant the rest of it until November 12th, 2022. I'm running out of time to plant my garlic, so today I'm going to be cleaning up the garden bed behind me. Look at this. It's so messy. It's driving me crazy. So I'm going to begin by just chopping everything down. Next, I'm just going to start chopping all of the vines to help them lay down flat a little bit easier. A zillion years later, this is what it looks like. It is so much cleaner, and you can't even tell that there was Armenian cucumber vines here. So this is all going to settle over the next few weeks, especially as those vines break down, which they will do pretty quickly. The worms are going to have a feast tonight. Next, I'm going to go in with Garden Tone. This one is from the brand called Espoma. It's an organic fertilizer. You can probably find it in a lot of nurseries. I tend to buy mine at Lowe's or Home Depot. At Home Depot, they have a really big bag, so that's my go-to place. But you can use whatever you'd like. Or you can use nothing at all if you choose not to. But I will say that this made a huge difference in my garden. So all I'm going to do is sprinkle that in. And this stuff stinks, but I love the way it smells. I've gotten so used to it. Next, I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to mix it in with my mushroom compost. Now that this bed has the compost down, it has the fertilizer down, it's really ready for anything to be planted in it. So I'm going to be doing garlic today. Here's the garlic that I'm going to plant today. This one I bought off of Amazon. Every other seed company had already sold out. And when they say order your garlic early, I don't think they mean like 2 weeks early. It's more like months ahead of time. Because by the time I got on the websites, everything was sold out except for the hard knit garlic. But here in the low desert, I've heard that it's better to use soft knit garlic. So what I did is I went to Food City and I bought some of this garlic, which is already starting to sprout. Some of the cloves on these were actually a lot better than the ones that I got from Amazon. And then you want to use the biggest cloves. Like look at this one, it's already starting to sprout. Look at that. There's a huge difference in size. I'm going to plant both and I'm going to see how they perform. Last year, I started planting some store-bought garlic, but you know how they say rats don't like garlic? I'm like, oh, garlic is going to keep rats away. Well, guess which garden bed they struck first? It was my garlic bed. That's honestly how I first figured out that there were rodents in the garden. And it was not a very happy time for me. Ooh, look at this one. I mean, this one is massive. So hopefully that gives us a good garlic head. And then all of the garlic skins I'm saving because I'm just going to toss them into some containers to help build the life of the soil. I bought these for like $2.50. So if we get some good garlic heads, that's going to be super freaking amazing. Amazon versus store-bought. So to plant, I'm going to be using this dibber. So for the garlic, I'm going to be planting them 6 inches apart, 4 inches deep. And I think I'm going to plant them down this middle row right here because I'm also popping some into the rest of the garden beds just to maximize my space, and then do a lot of like interplanting. Now I can just pop in all of my garlic. In here, I'm only going to do the store-bought garlic because I want to test these out inside of containers, and then that way I can see how the one from Amazon compared to the one that I bought at the store. What I'm doing is planting it with a pointy side facing up. And now I can water it in. But note to self, store-bought garlic purple. For mulch, you can use whatever you want. You can use leaves if you've got a ton of them. You can use wood chips. I like to use shredded straw. So what I usually do is I buy a bale of straw and then I just use my shredder to break it down. And then it turns into this. And this is a lot easier to spread and will keep the soil nice and protected. All done. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. Ta-da! I have a lot of garlic cloves left, and I'm gonna wind up planting some in these containers right here. What I've been working on is adding any dying vines back into here to fill up the majority of the container. That way I can start building the soil life. Here's some of these vines. So that looks pretty good. It'll still give me about 6 inches worth of soil to plant in. That's perfect. All of these vines will eventually break down into just a few inches of really rich soil, but the top is going to be layered with some soil and then a little bit of compost. That looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to top it with about 1 inch or 2 of compost. Last but not least, I'm going to add in some garden tone as well. I'm going to do like a handful in here. And then I'm going to pop it in with the pointy side facing up. Let me take off these gloves. I'm going to top it with some mulch and then I'll set up my drip line later on today. Over the next few months, I noticed that the Amazon garlic wasn't sprouting, but the store-bought garlic was growing really beautifully. That was until February 14th, 2023, when a hailstorm flung pellets of ice at Serendipity. The morning after the hailstorm, I checked on Serendipity and this is what I found. You can still see some of the ice right here. Damn it. That used to be my nasturtium. Now it's just shreds. Some of my tomatoes are still standing, which is good. Oh no. No. Oh, these are what my other tomatoes look like. Oh my god, the hail did a number on them. Look at the stems. You can just see all the little bruises where the hail came down. Okay, so basically everything's gonna look like it got shredded up and tossed back into the garden beds. Some of my tomato plants. These I never wound up staking up, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't because they don't have as much damage as the ones that were upright. I was gonna harvest lettuce for lunch. Look at that. One thing that's very surprising is the containers look really good. Fortunately, the garden bounced back after a few weeks, but there were certain plants that never fully recovered, and the garlic in the garden bed was one of them. But to my surprise, one container of store-bought garlic seemed completely unscathed alongside a small strip on the border of one garden bed that I'd planted earlier and forgotten about. And the stalks kept growing and growing until April 13th when I finally decided to harvest my homegrown garlic. 5 months ago, I planted store-bought and Amazon garlic, and today I'm gonna harvest it. I have all the supplies I need here, which is gonna be a trowel, some scissors, and some twine so that I can start curing it too. So let's start digging in here and see what we can find. The way I know that this garlic is ready to harvest is the bottom sets of leaves have already died back and they're nice and crunchy. Plus the tip of the rest of the leaves are starting to turn brown. Let's dig in here and see what we can find. Okay, here's one. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm gonna compare it to my hand because I have really big hands, and look at that garlic. That's beautiful. I'm gonna try and shake off as much soil as possible, and then I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully the rest of them come out that pretty. Oh, oh, this one's even bigger. It's got a little bit of purple up here. Look how pretty. That's nice. I think this is gonna be one of my new favorite crops to grow. I'm trying not to hurt any of these cloves. But man, they're really just cemented in there. I thought that was a worm. Oh no, it's my verdolaga. Oh, this one just a little bit small. Ooh, this one looks pretty nice. Really, really nice actually. We've got like 3 more in here. Oh look, there's a red wriggler worm in there too. Do you see that? Oh, okay, let's pop you back in there, little guy. Oh, oh. Go, go, go. Did I get him? Excuse me. Look how pretty. Oh, I'm trying to check for worms now. The purple color on these is also so pretty. Oh, this one's so tiny. I think that's exactly why they say to try and plant the biggest bulbs. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, he's already trying to hide. You see that worm in there? I try and put worms in my containers whenever I can, just so that they can start multiplying and keep breaking down everything else in the soil. But look at this one. This one's kind of small. I harvested all of this garlic out of this container. Just beautiful. And now it's time to move over to the garden beds, because I planted a couple in here as well. And what I'm about to show you is a little bit embarrassing, okay? You might notice that there's paper bags around some of this garlic along with string. And that's because I was convinced that these were leeks. So I just popped garlic in here and I completely forgot about it. And as time went on, because the plants were so big, I was like, yeah, this for sure is a leek, right? It's not leeks, it's garlic. So I was wrapping them to try and blanch them. I'm gonna start digging so we can see what these look like. Oh my gosh, I think these are bigger. Oh my gosh. Well, actually, no, the cloves look bigger. Look how pretty. And the color is just so pretty, like that nice lilac color. You guys, look how nice that looks. Like, can you see that purple coloring throughout? Oh gosh. Oh, this is hands down one of my new favorite crops to grow. See, this one must have been a tiny clove, and look at that little head of garlic compared to these. That's why you want to plant the big ones. Oh, this one was kind of small too. I think maybe because these were really close together, they were growing kind of like this. So it makes sense why both of them stayed kind of small. Still edible. Oh, this one's nice. And look, it looks like the skin was starting to deteriorate a little bit more, so I'm glad I harvested them now. This one's right up against the trellis. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can get it out. Oh, there we go. That wasn't bad at all. No worms? Nope, no worms. I don't think. Ah, guys, they just keep getting better and better. I would say this is almost, if not more fun, than harvesting potatoes. Oh, hold on. Oh, see another worm everywhere. It's like right up against the roots. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I'm sorry. Get off. I'm so sorry, but you need to go. Go back to your home, please. I don't want you to get hurt. Oh, there. There. Oh. This is the last one in this section. Oh. Is there a worm? Yep, there's worms in there too. That is awesome. Okay. And another one. Again, this one is wrapped in paper because I thought it was a leek. And this one's pretty massive. Oh, let's see what we have here. Whoa. Are those all the roots for this? Oh no, those are the roots for other plants. Are those are not worms, those are other roots. Look how massive that is though. Now, that's a really good harvest. Oh my God. That's gorgeous. There might be some more garlic throughout the rest of the garden beds, but everything's so full that I'm gonna have to go through and search. Should we do that together? Let's do it together. These I think are like onions or leeks or something, but I don't think that's garlic, right? I'm gonna dig in a little bit. No, these are not garlic. I for sure planted garlic in this bed, but when everything else filled out, I think maybe they just were fighting for sunlight. Or maybe it just took me forever to harvest them, because look at that. Oh, what about in here? I can barely see through this bed. I do have broccoli growing in there though, but I don't think I have garlic. This bed had a couple of cloves of garlic, but I think it was the tiniest ones that I planted. So they didn't really amount to anything. This is the size of it. That's not an onion, right? These are the ones that I got from that bed. And as you can see, they're teeny tiny. Oh, look, I think I might have planted some garlic in here. Yep. It's so teeny tiny. Oh my gosh. Oh, this one also had garlic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that most of what I pulled up was actually onions. This is my harvest of garlic. I haven't counted how many I have yet, but I'm gonna start tying them off to be able to cure them inside. And I think I'm gonna tie off about 4 because some of them are really huge. And I'm probably just gonna hang them in my garage. I've seen people braid them as well and that looks so beautiful, but I don't know how to do it. Maybe I could try. But how would you even start it out? Nope, okay. No. I'm still a beginner. Next year I'll braid it. So I'm just gonna take some cotton twine. I really do want to try and braid it though. Okay. Should I try and braid it? Should I? No, I'm good. I'm just gonna start tying bunches of 4 or 5 depending on the size. And then, why does that look so sad? I'm just gonna hang it like this in my garage. You know what? No, I'm gonna try and braid it. I'll figure it out. How hard can it be? I've done harder things. I gave birth to 3 kids. Never mind. I Googled it, and apparently I'm supposed to let it dry for about 2 weeks before I try braiding it. So that's fine, because that'll give me enough time to look up tutorials and figure out how to do it. Maybe I have to tie them up here, maybe? I think this might work better. There we go. And I'm just taking off these, my blanching paper bags. I mean, just look at that size. I just want to make sure that there's no worms anywhere in here. And I'm trying to shake off as much dirt as possible. It's okay if I make a mess because I need to clean the garden anyway. And then the twine that I'm using is just butcher's twine. The little containers of garlic that I buy at Food City usually come with 5 garlic heads. So I've already made my money back, which wasn't much to begin with. It was only like $2, maybe like $2.50. And I mean, these heads are so beautiful. I might save some of them to replant for next year, or I might just stop by Food City and then buy a couple more little packs. Now that I know that it works growing store-bought garlic, I am for sure going to do it again. The only thing to keep in mind and that I was looking for is I don't buy the ones that are like super white. I buy the ones that are purplish in color. And then the ones that I bought for these were already starting to sprout. And I mean, look at the size of them. They were like ready to start growing. I was so intimidated growing garlic for the first time because I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know if it was gonna work because I didn't order my seed garlic on time. If it didn't work, I only lost out on like $2, but I got 8, 12, 16, 20. Hold on, these are heavy. I got 25 heads of garlic, good sized garlic. I'm not gonna count any of these, out of $2.50 worth of garlic from the store. That's amazing. Oh my God, I feel like crying. That's incredible. Oh my God. Look at all of this. We're in my garage now and I'm hanging it right here because I have nowhere else to hang it. And online it said it needed to be in a cool, dry place. I have it at 75 degrees in here. So this is gonna be the best place for me. Later this week it's gonna be 90. It would probably also be smart to bring my step stool out here, but it's a little too late for that. Hopefully by next year, my dream is to be like in a couple of acres worth of land where I can have a whole setup for drying things and curing things, and that's my dream. We'll see. I think I got dirt in my eyes. Come on, little guys. There we go. How pretty. I think anybody that comes in here is gonna be like, what the hell? What are you guys doing in there? It's been about 3 weeks at this point. I'm gonna cut everything down. Let's take this and braid it. One thing I noticed is one of them actually started to put out a garlic scape after it was harvested, which was pretty cool. So now I'm gonna start tidying them up. They still have a little bit of dirt on them, so I'm just going, oops. I guess this one we have to use really soon. This is one that I think was a little too ripe, so it's right away kind of falling apart, and that's fine because my husband needs garlic for today's dinner. But what I'm gonna do is just cut off the bottoms. And I don't have a brush with me, so I'm just kind of dusting off any dirt as much as I can with my hands. I should have bought a brush, but I completely forgot. And I'm gonna keep going. Oops. This is a really big bulb. I haven't ordered garlic for this year because I want to try and save at least like 2 of my own bulbs and then replant those. And then I'll still order a couple others just to try them out. But I'm just cutting off the bottom, all of those roots. And then everything else looks pretty good. I mean, look at the size of these. Oops. The snips that I'm using right now are from Gardener Supply. They sent these out last year and I love them. These are my favorite for harvesting just about everything. And I lost them for months. I was looking for them in the garage and I found them behind one of my storage bins. They're super sharp. These that are cleaned off are already starting to look so gorgeous compared to these. It is so hot here in Arizona right now. I am sweating in places I should not be sweating. Okay. I thought that maybe when they dried, they'd look a little bit smaller, but truthfully, they're just as beautiful and they look bigger than they did when I first harvested them, now that they're all cleaned up. The only bulbs that were really small are the ones that grew from the really tiny garlic cloves, which I shouldn't have planted, but I did it because I figured we could harvest the garlic greens. I'm having a blast just cleaning off my dirty garlic. Another thing, I was so scared that there would be like worms on these, that I had accidentally like missed one or something, and that when it came time to clean them off that I'd find like the remains. That doesn't seem to be the case so far, thank goodness. For my first time growing garlic, I would say it was a great success, and it definitely gave me the motivation to do it again. Sometimes I feel like when you grow a crop for the first time, if it doesn't turn out well, it kind of puts you in a little bit of a slump where you're like, oh, man, I spent months worth of time just watering and fertilizing and looking after these plants to not get anything from them. But it's also good to remember that it's a learning experience. Gardening is always going to be full of ups and downs, and sometimes you might have victories right away, and other times it might take you a while before you conquer a certain crop. Some of the crops that I haven't conquered yet that I still want to, watermelon. I've just had such bad luck with watermelon. My first year, I grew a massive Charleston Gray, and I grew some really good sized crimson sweet watermelons, but the thing is I never harvested them at the right time, and I was devastated. And then after that, every other watermelon that I've tried was just never quite as like big and juicy. Another crop that I've been trying for forever is cucamelon. I can grow Armenian cucumbers. I don't struggle with those at all, but it's the regular cucumbers that I haven't been able to grow successfully here. I plant them at the time you're supposed to, but maybe I need to work on my transplanting skills better, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. The last crop that I really want to try and perfect this year, or at least get something from, is corn. This is an onion. It's a really hard onion. Okay, and it looks like I'm done. Please don't think of this as a how-to video because I don't know how to do this. But I think I'm going to start off with the biggest cloves and then work my way to the smallest. So these are some really good sized ones. This one's huge. This one's huge. These are my smaller ones. I'm going to try doing it without tying any string, and if it doesn't work, then I'll go in with the string after. So I'm going to start off with 3. And then what do you do? Or didn't you take 1 and go like this? Something like that? Maybe I go like this? They made it look so easy on YouTube. They said always cross it over the middle. I'm crossing, but I don't know if it's working. I think as long as we don't look at the back, it might not look too bad. No. Okay, I messed up somewhere closer to the bottom. I know I did. Okay, I'm going to try tying it, and I'm going to see if that works out better for me. The thing is that I watched so many tutorials, and I still can't figure out how to braid it. So I'm just going to wrap it like 2 times. Over the middle. Okay, let me look at the back. Nope, that's not coming out like a braid. I'm not going to give up. I don't care if I have to be here all day. Over the middle. I think I'm starting to get the hang of it a little bit more. It might not be perfect or quite so pretty, but it worked. And I'm just going to tie it off at the end. I have seen some people go like this, and then they tie it off, create like a loop with itself. I got it into a braid. I don't know if it was a perfect braid. From the back, you can tell I did not do that perfectly, but from the front, it looks really nice. And I'm going to cut off the garlic scape just because I don't think it's supposed to be there anymore. But I can totally hang it in my kitchen. Next year, I plan to grow like 3 times as much garlic. Okay, now I'm going to go hang it in the kitchen. I think I'm going to hang it right here where I have the pizza paddle and my aprons. I can just put these somewhere else. Oh my gosh, look! What is this? Oh, that's another nail in the wall. Isn't it so cute? Next year, I want to grow like 3 times as much, and then I can have just 3 of these just dangling down, and you can just harvest fresh garlic.
And a few days later, I finally got to experience the moment I've been waiting for.
I put the pizza paddle back where the garlic braid is because from far away, it almost looks like the garlic braid is the handle for the pizza paddle. And I think that'll work until we eat most of it. And I'm trying to save the biggest bulbs. I ordered some more garlic yesterday actually from a website called The Garlic God. Something like that. That way it ships in around September because I plant my garlic around October. That way I can get nice big bulbs. What happened? Look at that. So I'm gonna start off with the little ones. The ones on the top. Should I grab 2? Oh, I kinda wanna grab 2. Maybe just 1 more. No. I'll just grab 1. I'll just grab 1.
And that's how I grew 25 heads of garlic for $2.50 using store-bought garlic. And this year, I'm doing it again.